Because who doesn't love one-sided wraths? And that's without even tap effects. Welcome back, cloners, to another game of Commander Archenemy, this time featuring...
Woo! Me, Josh.
As...
the Archenemy.
Playing...
Scion, the Ur-Dragon.
That is a dragon tribal deck. I don't think you can make a version of the deck that isn't.
There's a couple cards that aren't tribal, but I mean, they're just like super value.
Yeah.
And it's all basic lands, by the way, people. So this is what's cool about it.
Yeah, because you run
like
back to basics, Ruination, Blood Moon.
All non-basic land hate. Good cards.
Yeah. He's going up against us, and I'm playing Marchesa, the Black Rose. Marchesa is, of course, creature-based guys like Thraxamundar, Olivia, Chasm Skulker, things that get +1 counters that interact well with Marchesa. Also, it has a suicide element with things like Necropotence and Unspeakable Symbol.
June's playing Karador, the Ghost Chieftain, like always. I think that's his only deck.
Yeah, it is his only commander deck. And Rob's played this deck before. It's Niv-Mizzet the Firemind. It's very combo-y, extra turny, flashbacky, spell-based.
It's pretty cool. It's a little boring though, but it's pretty cool.
Okay, so Archenemy goes first, of course, and your first scheme was Every Last Vestige Shall Rot, which is...
useless.
Completely useless.
It's
turn
amazing.
1.
After this game, we realized that we needed to change some of the rules on the schemes, because some of them can just suck on your turn 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so I think the only one with the first turn play is Rob, who suspends Ancestral Vision, and then for Josh's next turn, he destroys my land, Reflecting Pool, and that was the only effect he got from that scheme.
Yeah, wasn't that great.
Well, you try going to turn 2 with 0 mana. So, turn 2, we're all just hitting our land drops and not much else. So, yeah, we don't have any other plays, but Rob gambles. I personally am not a huge fan of that card, unless your deck is like graveyard-centric.
Yeah, but Rob also plays like dumb cards like Tybalt, you know.
He plays Tybalt in that deck?
I'm pretty sure he is super hipster after all.
So that's a pretty good scheme for you. It's a discard for everyone.
Yeah.
That's pretty useful, more useful turn 1, nearer turn 1 than late game.
I got rid of an extra turn, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and Necromancy is amazing for June. It would have taken me a while to get that Helm of Possession going. And do you have a turn here? Oh yeah, so we cast back to basics. In your basic only deck.
It was pretty good up until Rob's play here, which is like wrecked me.
Ralzeric with Mana Vault's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like the oh yeah, I can't swear.
But he doesn't even use it to untap the Mana Vault. He untaps June's dual lands.
Yeah,
bounce land, so you can cast the Reclamation Sage and get rid of your back to basics.
Yeah.
Although you have a pretty good comeback here with Tooth, Claw, and Tail, getting rid of the only 3 permanents that are on the field.
It's pretty good. I then ramp with Explosive Vegetation. I get the rest of my colors. It's really helpful when I'm able to at least have every single color.
Yeah, speaking of colors, I finally get my first black mana of the game. With Evolving Wilds, it's going to take a turn to get it. June puts stuff in his graveyard, and Rob has one more turn on that in Social Vision.
Yeah. On my turn, the scheme is going to be Nature's Demand and Offering, which is going to shuffle June's creature and one of his lands into his library. I'm just trying to slow him down because he just keeps on like playing things.
That's what you tend to do.
Yeah. I then play Darksteel Ingot and Prophet of Crucifix.
Can't complain about that.
But then Rob counters my Prophet, which sucks.
Yeah, that's just way too powerful of a creature. You could have recast your... Or, no, cast your command first that time. Rob's going to refill his hand with Ancestral Vision. Academy Director from June, which is always a good creature. Although your deck is very flying, so
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't have blocked too much.
There's only a couple creatures that are on the ground.
Yeah, so
That was one of them.
I hard cast Attrition because I had to use the Opal Palace to produce my second black because I didn't have it in the other way.
Rob uses...
yeah.
Rob casts
Cast
Jace now, and then he Fate Seals me. Like
But-
a jerk.
We all know what happens to that Jace next turn. So you can pretty much bank on, if you cast Scion, it being hasty that same turn if you have mana to activate its ability.
Yeah. I usually will wait to make sure I have at least 7 mana.
Yeah,
to
you
cast
gotta
it.
either protect him or get some value out of him at least. So plot that spans centuries, that's always such a good card to scheme into.
Yeah, I get 3 more schemes next turn.
Yep. And like you were saying, Hellcut Overlord is like one of the first ones you typically go for.
Yeah, I mean, just having like an 8/8 come into play is really good, and then I'm also able to cast Animate Dead.
Also have the mana to animate dead it back. So you
Yeah.
have the Hellkite, that's actually Scion, and then another Hellkite, and you attack with both of them, killing the Jace, and you attack me with the other 8 damage.
Yeah, I kind of regret not just attacking one person.
Yeah, just typically, I think that's a good play for the Archenemy. Just pick one person and stick with them the entire game. So some ramp from Rob and June, and I'm still just trying to like get into this game.
Yeah, Rob casts Grim Monolith, and then he casts
More Planeswalkers.
Tameo. He taps down my Scion.
Yeah, I think we were just because we didn't want any shenanigans from Scion, so we just tried to keep it as the game as much as possible.
I got 3 good schemes. The first one's your Fate is thrice sealed, and then I got that twice. And then I also got Behold the Power of Destruction.
June wants you to destroy his permanents, of course, because he's got a counter director. You could have taken out Rob's Tameo, but I guess the attrition was... You didn't like that as much?
No, yeah, it was also like kind of a poor choice of play, but I didn't like having attrition there just to kill my dudes.
Yeah.
But then again, all my dudes were black at the time.
And
which
you
was
had
a little-
so many lands in play at this point of the game. When you get things like your Fate is thrice sealed, 2 of them too.
Yeah.
June's gonna cast Animate Dead to exile the Overlord.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I gained 7 life. It's not too bad,
Yeah,
but I did lose a creature.
I'm starting to come around a bit on the White Primordial. I didn't like him too much at first. Moneypenny makes her debut.
Yeah, the cat. Rob is now...
This is a sweet play, by the way. You put Karthus in your graveyard because Scion's tapped down right now from the Tameo, and then you're gonna unbarrel her rights into play, untapping your commander, who can then attack.
Yeah.
Again, that was another turn where Rob's Planeswalker stayed on the field 1 turn.
I mean, it soaked up damage, but then
Yeah.
again, I should have just kept on going after one person.
Well, I think killing Planeswalkers is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, the 3 of us, between us, were able to, like, just, like, kill one of your creatures each turn. It's like, as the Archenemy, you really got to be putting out like, more than, like, enough threats for each person to be able to kill them each turn.
Gene plays this demon, kills my dragon. He doesn't get a zombie off of it because it actually goes to command zone.
Yeah, I knew Rob was going to Wheel of Fortune, so I just want to get Bojuka Bug out of my hands just to get out any other dragons in there that you might want to, like, picture expiating or something into play, and then I finish my turn with a Glen Elendra.
Yeah. So my scheme this turn is look skyward and despair. I get
Which
a
is very fitting for your deck.
yeah, I get a dragon. It's pretty sweet.
So on theme.
And it's hasty.
And there's your second douche land
Yeah.
card of the game,
Blood Moon.
which I counter, but then you cast an even douchier card.
Yeah, I destroy everyone's lands.
That was a pretty good way to play
most
it. Make me
lands.
counter the Bad Moon.
It's
for the Ruination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Ruination totally resolves because I don't have mana to activate the Glen Elendra a second time. So I'm once again left with 2 lands, and you could look at you with all the lands.
Yeah, and I get some more off Urban Evolution.
So I think this was probably the
Farseek.
low point in the game for us, because you had threats on the field, you had a lot of land.
Yeah, but Rob has a pretty good turn next. But
And I think you went after June and Rob there, right?
is it like
Oh, and me with
yeah.
Yeah, you said one
Cards
person at
use
it.
all my dudes.
Yeah, I think you spread it around too much. Yeah, Rob just brainstormed, so that's why he was able to put Reforge the Soul on top so that he could Miracle into it.
Yeah, that was a really good Reforge Soul. That's why I didn't have Nicobolus. And this is another thing, like I could have casted Nicobolus that turn.
Yeah, and Rob discarded a bunch, so he's got plenty in his graveyard to delve with the Temporal Trespass. And I was just glad to fill up my hand just because I had so little going on.
June casts Mulch, putting a land in hand. It's pretty sweet. Then he also casts Dance of the Dead, returning a RuneScarred Demon to play tapped and searching for a card. Also pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I really like this play here. So you got Balefire Dragon, you're tapped out. I'm going to take it, give it +1, and then I have enough damage to kill your 2 dragons that you have there.
Yeah. It's surprising that the card just says, like, deal with all creatures when it's a dragon. Like, normally I would think it would be like...
Non-flying creatures.
Yeah.
That definitely would have been more helpful for you if that were the case.
On this turn, my scheme is Roots of All Evil. I get 5/1 Saplings. Definitely not, in theme. Also kind of useless.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah.
So you ramp more as if you needed to.
Yeah, I get Soul Ring on like turn 20 here. And then Chromatic Lantern.
And you get something sweet with the Dragon Lord, but it is not going to see the field.
Yeah, no, you gotta get Time Stop. You get wrecked here.
You can't even attack.
I'm just twiddling my thumbs.
Time Stop is so good in Archenemy. So yeah, I gotta take out that big Balefire Dragon.
Rob casts Impulse. He looks to add a card to his hand. Then he gets Soul Ring.
Yeah, so I think I'm doing like much better than I was here because I cast the Phyrexian Reclamation and I got Shriekmaw in the graveyard. So every turn I'm gonna be able to kill a non-black creature of yours, but it doesn't end up being relevant.
June casts his Commander this time.
Yeah. So I think this is a pretty big turn for you coming up here because you can do anything with the amount of mana you have there, like anything you have in hand.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't really wreck us, but it slows us down a bit.
Scheme is Nature Demands an Offering.
The problem with Nature Demands an Offering is that we get to choose the stuff, so it's like you don't even get the best stuff with it.
Yeah.
So you recast Scion.
And then Rob casts Stroke of Genius.
Yeah, he was wanting to dig for something to counter it, like a Force of Will or Pact of Negation. I don't know what free counter spells he has in his deck, but something along those lines.
I think it's Pact of Negation or
yeah, and Maelstrom Wonder, which again is not on theme, but
no, but it's like
still
such
just
a good value.
It's such a good card. You do get a dragon with it though, and then a not as useful Wayfarer's Bauble.
Yeah, I feel like the deck might have a little too much random ramp.
So yeah, you send the Scion and the Maelstrom at me. So I gotta block the Maelstrom Wonder just because I don't want to take that much damage. And I think, oh, Scion's not as big, but then of course you give him Nicol Bolas and you discard my hand.
You were in the game, but took you out again. And then I had enough mana to blow up the Soul Ring for Rob.
From the Steel Hellkite, yeah.
Yeah, and then I also had enough mana to wait for his Bauble.
Just thin out that deck.
On your guys' turn, June does something when he casts Sunblast Angel, completely wipes my board.
That is a sweet play right there. Angels versus Dragons.
Yeah,
so Rob casts his third Planeswalker of the game.
And
so I get, my Trinket Mage with 4 mana, so that means I can search up and cast Soul Ring, so I'll have pretty much not recovered my mana next turn, but definitely back in the game.
June attacks me for 8 with his dudes, 3 of it being Commander. Rob casts Passive Flames, giving Temporal Manipulation flashback and flashes it back.
Just doing more Rob shenanigans.
Yeah, he likes taking extra turns.
Who doesn't?
I mean, he's taken 2 now.
Yeah, this is a rule we play when we play Archenemy, is that only the person who takes extra turn takes extra turn. It'd just be way too powerful if the entire team gets an extra turn.
Yeah.
So he recasts his Commander, untaps more stuff, and takes more turns.
Then he casts Reforge the Soul, draw 7, I take 7.
Which I'm definitely happy about just because I don't have any cards in hand at this point. And I think you were low on cards, so it helped you. But of course, in Archenemy, it's always going to help the team more because we draw 21 cards to your 7.
Yeah. I get every last vestige, shall not, or shall rot.
Shall rot, yeah. And you have so much mana that, like...
Yeah, I just blow up the board.
And again, you take out Rob's Planeswalkers without even attacking.
I cast Kaigun, Dramoka, and then I cast Cultivate for some extra ramp. I need more ramp.
Those are two very good dragons to cast if like you don't have any other ones, because any threat that's big enough to kill the Kiga, you get it.
Yeah. And then Rob kind of nullifies that by casting Time Stretch.
That's just such a I win card.
Yeah. And then June casts Karmic God, returning Craterhoof Behemoth to the field.
Another I win card. Here I am like being even. I'm casting stuff like Zealous Conscripts.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily even, because you do have attrition, and you can just like kill my stuff and take control of things, which is not very nice.
Yeah, so you have a lot of life before this turn, but we attack you for, I guess, about 44 damage.
Yeah, 3 of it being Karador again.
You gain some of it back, though, with the lifelink on the Jamoka. And then I'm going to terminate the Kiga just so I can take control of your Jamoka, but use swords in response, and I gain life.
Now Rob goes to his next extra turn. He casts Niv-Mizzet and then Intuition. I make a mistake here and give him
so
Ophidian Eye rather than Time Warp.
Between those 3 cards, the Mind Over Matter, he automatically wins. The Ophidian's Eye, he automatically wins. You don't really want to give someone a Time Warp, but it's the only card there that he doesn't automatically win the game.
But, I mean, my hand was pretty or poop. It was pretty poop. So
on his last turn with the Time Stretch, Rob is going to be able to cast the Eye on Niv-Miz, tap it to draw a card, deal you a damage, and create a loop, and finish you off.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I got to cast dragons.
Yep. And you got killed by a dragon. That's the game. So where do you think it went downhill? You like blame it mostly on the schemes?
Not necessarily. I think the 2 first ones weren't like the greatest schemes to begin with, but it also was the fact that I didn't go after like 1 or 2 people the entire time. Like I could have just neutered one person.
Which I think is what you got to do in Archenemy. You can't really play like fair.
Yeah. And if I just neutered one person with one type of like mechanic with the destroying of lands and then going after someone with just a bunch of damage, that would have been a lot better. But I also did kind of forget about Rob's infinite turns with that deck. So.
Well, you don't have like counters, so your really disruption is either like nickel bolusing someone or like the land shenanigans you do with the non-basic land stuff.
Yeah, it's just a fun dragon deck. It's just as damage. Cast more dragons, reanimates dragons.
I was actually surprised how I wasn't completely out of the game after getting Ruination and losing most of my lands.
Yeah.
June lost a bunch, Rob lost some, but they both were able to recover easier than I was. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Jeej.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
He had really shitty fucking schemes though.
His first one was pretty good.
His first one didn't do
yeah,
anything.
my first one was amazing, Tristan. The sarcasm is so real.
Don't tell me you're gonna cry.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna keep all your heads.
He's gonna cry. Jack Lime.
Just wait.
Jack Lane.
Just wait.